Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
And here we go. Welcome. We're here, episode 174. Laura's in first tonight already. Wow.
Hi, Laura. Laura, can you see me or am I too dark? Laura,
Well, like I said, on the playback,
Is that a rhetorical question?
And on the video, the lighting looks really good, actually. So from my screen, because the display I'm using, this display is actually not set up for my camera, so it tends to look a lot darker.
Am I too dark?
On our display. Laura says you're there.
Oh.
So,
Laura, am I too Caucasian? Laura, do I look too Caucasian? Let me know, Laura.
am I too brown?
am
I too brown?
You've been out in the sun too much.
I've been out in the sun just a little too long.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
It's lucky we only have Laura and Nicole and somebody else watching right now. So,
Hi guys.
Man, oh man.
so Laura gets 3,500 points. Laura, you're keeping track. Nicole, 2,500, and nobody's won 1,500 yet. So, no 1,500 pointers. So, anyway, as we sit here quietly and wait for the audience to join.
Yeah, we'll just
We'll just sit here
be
quietly.
quiet.
And won't say anything until everybody starts joining us here tonight.
Okay, joining us and making us one big Podlie.
No, because I want to hear your your weekend. No, we got to go. I want to hear that. I'm at the edge of my seat here, Bill.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Are you actually though?
No, well.
Good evening, William.
Kinda,
William's
sorta.
here. William Kirkland.
Oh, good. The show can start now. Thank you, William.
He gets
Good. The show can start now.
He gets 1,500 points. Yeah, but don't I get to defer who starts?
yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
A few more people are joining us.
Oh well, it's about time you guys showed up.
The numbers start to go up, and again, in case you
Was it
don't
the
know,
time change that made you guys 3 minutes late for our show, or what? What?
Yeah. And just remember, we are on Facebook and YouTube, just in case you forgot. So we're on both platforms. So you can see us on each one.
Yeah, and we're short, so we like platforms.
Yeah, we are sitting on very tall stools.
I don't know what that means.
Shoes,
I don't
apple
know.
boxes,
I don't know what that means.
old phone books.
If we were sitting on anything shorter right now, you probably wouldn't see us. Wouldn't even, no matter how much light we had on us.
I don't know what that means. I do know that I asked the question if I was a little bit too brown, a little bit too dark on the screen, and Laura didn't really answer that question, but okay.
8:01 in 1 second. We're off the rails already. That's it. We're done. We're off the rails already.
Okay, so top question then goes to Mr. Bill over here because he had the opportunity, a rather fun and fine opportunity to play MC. To who? None other than?
The Trans-Canada Highwaymen last night. So Stephen Page, Craig Northey, Mo Berg, and Chris. I can't remember Chris's last name. Sorry, from Sloan. We're all there last night. That was fun. It was a blast. By the way, she says you're not too dark. So,
Thanks, Laura.
Like I said, it's this monitor that I have in front of us. It's not color adjusted properly. So,
Which monitor, Bill?
this one. This one that nobody else can see except us.
For anybody those who don't know me, anybody who knows me will tell you, I like hand gestures. I notice these things. And some people who talk...
It's not round. It's more like...
Some people who talk like this, they do this, and they do this. I like those things. My wife is very, very hand-gestured person.
Yeah.
And I torture her about her hand movements. And I have some friends of mine, some lovely friends of mine that also have this hand gesture thing. Yeah. And I torture them equally because I'm an equal opportunity torturer.
There you go. And good evening.
I think that's on
Cheryl
his business
Seltzer.
card, actually.
It's on my business card. Equal opportunity torturer.
Yeah.
Cheryl Seltzer's here. You know what?
Cheryl. How are you, Cheryl?
So far, everybody tonight's watching on YouTube. We have no Facebook viewers
On YouTube.
So,
Nice.
Don't forget, guys. Yeah, we made the change a couple weeks ago, so we're on both now.
Yeah.
We're on both for keeps. So
tune in from wherever.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Trans-Canada Highwaymen were in Stewart Park last night. And It was a sold-out show, and Laura, they can't switch sides because we're all mic'd up. So,
Laura,
it'd be real interesting if we tried.
So talking about being too dark, and Laura says Podlie and Cliff should switch sides to see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
I could use a tan, you know.
Sorry, Bill. Continue. Continue. So
Did they play-
Highwaymen.
So
Transparent
covers.
Highwaymen.
What kind of covers did they play? What did they play?
Well, they all were playing songs from each of their bands. So
Okay.
we heard some Pursuit of Happiness songs, Sloan songs, Odd songs, Bare Naked Ladies songs. And then they were adding in other songs like
Other covers.
Lighthouse, other covers, Lighthouse. I can't remember now some of the Canadian. Andy Kim. They played Andy
Oh, my
Kim.
God.
Oh, really?
They played, yeah, they were playing numerous different songs. So it's a 2-hour show with an intermission. They were just them. And,
Is Andy Kitten the same as Long John Baldry? Isn't he? Wasn't that? Didn't he use a pseudonym?
I
don't
don't know
know.
of. I think they were different.
Yeah, okay,
I don't know.
I think
Yeah, I
they
don't
were
know.
different. But yeah, no, it was
Seems
good.
to me somebody did.
Yeah, so
Anyway, that was rather random.
it was. That just kind of flew out there.
Sorry.
You said something because we talked earlier when we came. We talked earlier. You said something about their intermissions in between songs. You just their interaction.
The interaction in between songs. So I did I got to go on stage before they came on just to talk about Ravenwood, and it was nice. It was a sold out crowd at Festival Place last night. There was not one single seat left to buy in that
Nice.
place. So it was absolutely packed, which was great, right up through to the balcony. So I talked about Ravenwood, did my thing, got off stage, and I already met the guys by then. They were hanging out, getting ready to go on stage after there were some technical problems that delayed the show a little bit. So they got that all fixed up, and like I said, had the opportunity to kind of hang out back there while they were kind of chatting and getting ready to go out to do the show. But yeah, their interaction. So not only was the music great, but the interaction between songs was just as great. It was like going to a comedy music show. Those guys were hilarious on stage.
I love that. I love that.
Playing and they come from 4 Canadian iconic bands that through the '90s and you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing Sloan or the Odds or
no
Pursuit of
kidding.
Happiness or Bare
true.
Naked Ladies.
It's true.
And
true.
Anyway, so I had that chance, hung out. Then after the show was over, we got to myself and Chai and Brent, who has built a custom guitar for us for Ravenwood, which we got signed by Stephen Page. We all got to go backstage, the 3 of us, and hang out and chat with Stephen for a little bit, and Craig Northey, and
Man, that's cool.
yeah, so it was nice. It was a real good evening. The crowd loved the show. They did 3 encores, which we don't talk about encores.
No, we don't talk
They
about
played 3 of them last night, and the show was really well received. And Stephen gave us a ton of plugs on stage to the 500 people there about the fact that he's coming back with the Stephen Page Trio on July 13th, headlining our Ravenwood Music Festival. So
anybody not going to the Ravenwood Music Festival on the July 13th weekend, I suggest you change your bloody mind.
yeah.
And show up. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be good fun, and it's a family event if you want to bring kids, etc. But
And it's the cheapest ticket in Alberta, you guys. It's the cheapest ticket in Alberta.
I don't actually like that. I'm going to tell these guys to raise the damn tickets. They keep saying it's the cheapest
It's
tickets in
the
Alberta.
cheapest-
Why do you
it is
keep
the
saying
cheapest-
that? I don't
It's the
care.
cheapest 2-day music festival
I don't want-
in the province.
I don't want people to come to it because it's a cheap ticket.
Cheap.
I want people to come to it because it's Stephen Page.
Well, that's it.
And
Royal Foundry on
Royal
Friday
Foundry on Friday
That's
night. And the most important part of all of it, okay, who are going to be the MCs? That's the most important part, is who are going to be the MCs.
But also, look, what did Nicole say?
3 encores. Oh, it's up. Saturday!
Guys, you go right ahead.
Nicole, that was bloody awesome.
Yeah, and it was on a Sunday actually.
What was a personal highlight for you this weekend for the at the show? What was a personal highlight?
What was a personal highlight? No, sorry.
Don't worry, I have
We
the
do
mic
not
off.
use scripts here.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'll ask AI that.
Yeah. No, it was just it was good.
Saturday!
What happened there?
Nicole.
You fell off on that.
Nicole, yeah, sorry, my bad. Nicole keeps posting Saturday.
Nicole, I
on
have a
there.
question. If we change the podcast from Monday to Saturday, would you watch?
To what?
Would you watch?
Saturday! Thanks, Polly.
Walked into that one.
No, you
Walked
sat
into that
into
one.
it, but anyway.
Okay, come on, let's get on with this AI thing. Let's choose a topic.
Yeah, we can.
So
do
there's
that.
no highlight?
Oh, sorry,
Let's
highlight.
do the
What's
rest
the
of your
highlight?
highlights. We gotta do the highlights.
highlights.
Do the highlights.
Say, Paul, your highlights.
Okay, Paul.
No, I want to
highlight.
hear your.
Oh, my highlight. No, it was good meeting. Just getting to meet them in
Getting
person,
to meet them. Okay, so
having a chance to actually
Okay.
talk to them, and they're Stephen Page, the Craig North. They're all really nice guys. I met the sound techs
Cool.
backstage, the monitor guys, and they were all great.
Cool.
So anyway, it was good, and like I said, the show itself, though. You know, I've seen a little bit of the Trans-Canada Highwaymen on video, not seen them live and in person, and to see them and the way they played and the way they sounded was just amazing.
Yeah,
For
nice.
even
All right,
for,
eh?
You know, for the years that they've been in the business, the harmonies, the voices sounded great,
Yeah.
the guitar playing was great.
Nice.
So overall, it was a really good show.
A really, really good
Cool,
show.
cool, cool.
That's nice. I'm,
Cool, cool,
I'm
cool.
glad you had to. I don't know what Sue means.
That's
Sue, what does
that's
Heidi
it.
mean?
Hey, once in a lifetime.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hello, Sue.
Heidi.
Hello. Heidi. Heidi ho.
Sue's our only Facebook watcher right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
You're missing
Love it,
who?
love it, love it. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for
Heidi who?
Heidi.
tuning in.
And Laura May 57 says, Paul, we need to make a thing to drive the other guys nuts. What makes you think we're not already there, Laura?
I have a thing that makes the other guys nuts, Laura. It's my presence.
Hey, look, a built-in thing.
There you go.
It's innate.
I have a thing.
That's what you call an innate talent.
That's right.
An,
That's right.
an
That's
intrinsic
right.
ability.
That's exactly right. That's my ability. Just walk in the room.
Just walk in.
Walk in the room. I have a thing, Laura. I have a thing.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess we should say before, and we'll quickly do our week wrap up. Then we'll get on the
Okay, do it, yeah.
AI topic. But Friday night was our last Ravenwood Music Club evening for this series of 6 shows. Mallory Chipman, sold out show, and Mallory Chipman brought her husband along, Brett, who's an amazing guitar player.
So good.
And they played as a duo on Friday night, and very, very good show. Great way to wrap up our. So if you missed out because all the shows were sold out, well, we're going to be doing it again. We will announce dates probably in the next couple months. Once we kind of nail that down, we got to get through our outdoor festival first.
Yeah. So guys, don't. We are not stopping. We're putting pause on the music club for now because we transfer now to hardcore, getting ready for the Ravenwood Experience in the summer. After the Ravenwood Experience in the summer, we will again make plans for the music club. So.
That's a long way away.
So we're just putting pause on it. It's
How's it
not,
going, Paulie?
Not dead. Country Music Alberta Awards this weekend. OMG! So first of all, huge thank you to our friend and country music musician Sterling John and the Sterling John Foundation for Youth Empowerment for inviting me and my son Ja, my 11-year-old son. Guys, for 2 days, start party and then the actual awards the next day. Highlights galore, and you guys well know my opinion about country music. This was different, you guys.
It was not
This
country
was
music?
different.
Country music word about the country.
So,
Yo, I got my truck back.
I better start listening to country music because that's not what I thought that was. It was wonderful.
Oh, no.
It was wonderful.
Listen,
it was wonderful.
Country, any music, I think we've had this discussion before. Absolutely any music. It's not about the genre, it's about the particular music.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Right? You know, I have I love kind of folk rock music. That's what I grew up on. That doesn't mean I like all folk rock music, right? I'm not a big thrash metal guy, but if you go to my phone right now, you'll probably find 3 albums.
Ministry was just here.
I know. So anyway, that's good, Paulie. Glad you had a good time.
So thank you to Sterling John. Thank you to Cheryl Schofield.
If they're
from
not on here-
Catavello Entertainment too. You were a darling.
If they're not on here, they don't deserve thanks.
Oh, yes, they do. They were amazing.
But they're not on
Guys,
here.
At the end of the day, so what's my highlight? At the end of the day, the music was it. I know this is why I'm doing this on purpose. Spending time with my son.
Nice.
Spending time with my son. So it was amazing. It was amazing. So thank you. Thank you to Sterling. It is a memory that I will have with Ja for the rest of our lives. It's unbelievable, guys. It was so great.
Okay, he's not on here to hear you.
Don't care. I'm sending it out into the universe.
Into the universe.
I don't
even.
care.
And what about you, Cliff? You had
What?
some big birthday event on Friday night because you weren't at the last night of the Ravenwood Music Club. What dedication?
What dedication? Yeah, sorry.
Dedication,
Sorry.
devotion.
Sorry, and for those of you who don't know, most of the time I co-MC it as well. But my friend Amber was having her birthday party, and she messaged me way earlier and asked me to come, and I haven't seen her in a number of years, and we were going to have some old-time friends of mine that were there, that were going to be there that I literally haven't seen in about 8 years or so. Great people, I miss them a lot. So when she asked me to come, I was first of all, I actually said probably not, and then I realized it was a Friday, and I went surely not, and then I realized yeah, but then she's like, oh, Cliffy, you should come out, blah blah blah. So yeah, so I went out and had just a great time with some old friends. I met some new friends, spent some time with some new friends, and I tell everybody, right? I love people. I mean, I can't eat a whole one, but I love them, right? So to spend a little time with these people, to meet some new people, and spend some time with some new people, it was just really nice. And though I'm sad I missed the Friday night, it was so great to connect with some people that mean a bunch to me. So
There you go. All right, we're done. Nice. Good night, everybody.
And that was our week.
night all.
That was our week.
Okay, and and Sue, hold me back, LMAO. She says, and the high D was the high D ho neighbors from the timber. That's what I thought she meant.
Tim the Tool Man. Heidi ho.
Yeah, howdy ho, neighbors.
Yeah.
And everything before is bullshit. Sue, glad you're here. Everybody else, glad you're here. And Bill is going to talk about the topic right freaking now.
All right, so I mentioned this last week, so we decided, so I don't actually have a topic yet. So instead, I have my tablet here, and on this tablet, I have my Chat GPT account. Whoa.
If you say it with the brown accent, it's easy. It's called
Chat
GBT account.
Chat GDP. It's
open,
GDP.
which is an AI account.
An AI account.
So what's going to happen? I just typed in, choose a podcast topic. So I'm going to now hit enter, and it's going to come up with a topic.
Okay, but don't we have to give it some direction that we want kind of a serious-y topic or something
Well,
that's
first
very
I thought
human?
I would try and just see
Oh,
what it
let's
comes
do it.
up
Let's do
with
it.
first.
Yes,
Just see
do
what AI gives us.
Let's do it.
And then we'll let you guys choose.
I need a drum. Oh, I should have had a drum here. I could have done a drum roll.
Hey, should we let them choose? Let's let you guys choose.
So here's the first topic that it's telling us that we should do. How about Unsolved Mysteries True Crime Edition?
That's a good idea. I like that
Could
idea.
explore cold cases, disappearances, and other unresolved crimes, diving deep into the evidence, theories, and potential.
Okay, well, we don't.
I like that
Well,
idea.
I don't.
What
know-
true crimes do you know that you can talk about, Paul?
Tanya Murrell. I don't know why I remember this. Tanya Murrell. I'm about 6 years old. Honest to God, I think I'm in grade 1. And this was huge news, local news, Edmonton. And obviously I can't remember the whole things, but she was around my age at the time. And I don't know, that's just so sad. Never heard anything after that.
Dealing with human topics.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I don't know who that is. I have never heard.
circa 1980, 81. Yeah, she's never discovered. Yeah, very
I'm
sad.
typing in another question here. So we're typing in a serious podcast topics dealing with human topics.
Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what ChatGPT
It
has.
says certainly there are a few serious. It's giving me a ton here. It's
Yeah,
so far it's given us 10.
Spit them out and you guys can choose. That's what I say.
Mental health
That's
matters.
my vote.
So a podcast exploring various aspects of mental health, including disorders.
No. They're talking about podcasts, Bill, that have these things. So if you just read the topic,
Here are
that's
f-
what we're interested in.
So mental health matters.
Empathy in action. Okay, let's put a tag on that one. I like that.
The refugee experience.
Not
end of
familiar
life
with it.
conversations.
Ooh, don't want that.
That'd be interesting.
Technology and human connection.
We've done some
We've
of
done
that.
that.
Aging with dignity.
Not interested. Because I don't age, I go backwards. Like I'm Benjamin Button, I go backwards.
Breaking the silence, amplifying the voices.
I don't even know what that means.
It's about trauma, abuse, violence,
And global health
and
perspectives.
global health perspectives.
And the other thing I thought we can talk about is food. And because currently, I don't know, maybe this is interesting to you guys. When I heard about the health thing, tell me if you guys are interested in this. Right now, food is a big topic in the industry when it comes to what has been taught to us over the years that's blatantly wrong, that's patently wrong. that some of us are still following, and what the new sciences and the new technologies are telling us about food and health. That's one topic. I don't know if you guys want to discuss it now, but we can.
So give us a little more.
Oh, okay.
Depth into it.
Okay. Well, a very brief outlay would be things like, I was just talking about this today. You know how we've been taught breakfast is the most important meal of the day?
Yeah.
Which scientist said that? Don't answer it. You don't know. Which
My
study?
mom
Which
said
study? Which study studied that and discovered that it was the best meal of the day, most important meal of the day? You can't tell
I
me.
think I read that on a cereal box.
That's precisely right. You know who come up with that? Kellogg's did.
Because they wanted to sell cereal.
Because they wanted to sell that bloody cereal.
Yeah.
So they said Kellogg's cornflakes, the most important meal of the day. And somehow that became ingrained in the culture. And now for some odd reason, there's a swath of 8 billion people that think breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I'm here to tell you it's not, etc. So stuff like that we've been ingrained to
Canada's
yeah.
Food Guide.
Canada's Food Guide. Sue, exactly. Think about America's Food Guide. America's Food Guide has Fruit Loops on there. All right? If anybody thinks or anybody tells me Fruit Loops are healthy, I'm going to beat them with these 2 drumsticks right here.
I thought they had fruit in them.
So anyway,
Yeah, but I think they spell fruit with a double O, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
so anyway, that's a topic either for now or
Well, I mean,
forward time.
It's definitely an interesting topic, for sure, like you said. You
Yeah.
know,
And I have a lot to say on it, so I don't know if you guys want to.
So obviously, as stated, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day.
No.
So are we considering then your final evening, so whether it be your dinner or your supper, as the most important meal of the day?
Actually, believe it
Or
or
is it
not,
lunch?
it's none.
So none of them?
None of them.
Okay.
There's no such thing as the most important meal of the day.
It's whenever you
It's-
eat and what you're eating.
It's what the meal is.
Right.
That's the most important part of any meal.
Right.
Right. And the other most important part is, and I know I have some friends that are going to go, oh my God, you can talk about that again, is fasting. All right. And how many hours between actual what happens when you eat food? You get an insulin shot.
Yeah.
Right? So what happens when you get an insulin shot? Everything in the body gets active. And if there's too much insulin in the body, guess where it goes? It goes to fat. It goes to the liver. It goes to the fatty, blah, blah, blah. So what you eat and how long you fast in between is more important than which is the best, quote unquote, or most important meal of the day.
So what Bible can people use? What food Bible? So Bible, Canada Food Guide was mentioned. That for a lot of us, for me in my formative years, that was the Canada, that was my food Bible as taught to me in school. What's the food Bible? What can people reference now?
You can reference, what I would reference is all of the latest studies when it comes to not so much food, but actual hormones in the body and the timing of those hormones and the timing that things like insulin are released. And how the digestive tract works. Because a lot of people think if you eat fat, hold on.
Medical journals.
A lot of people think that you eat, no, they haven't caught up yet. This is all cutting edge science, Podlie. It's been going on for a number of years now. but
Okay,
it's
so
only coming
where
to a
do I
head
get
now.
the cutting edge science? Where's the Bible?
There's no one source, buddy. You always want one source. There's no such thing. Where's the Bible for the Canada Food Group?
Okay, so I'll
Who
just
wrote that?
Google.
No.
Google best food or best eating. That's what I'll do.
Are you being facetious or are you actually asking me a question?
No, I'm asking a question.
Okay, so what do you think would happen if you Googled the best food?
You'd get 45 million different articles and advertisements and
Showing you things like cake and
And considering Google is actually not an entity, but an entity that researches other entities, what do you think you're going to find?
Sure, 100%.
You're going to find exactly what the big business wants you to find.
100%.
Right? So if Kellogg says the best meal of the day is breakfast and you should eat sugar for breakfast,
That's right.
that's what Google is going to tell you.
That's what Kellogg says.
Right? And that's what Google is going to tell you. So no, that will not tell you. What will tell you is if you start listening to sources alternate to what you are currently listening to.
Okay.
Look at the opposite side. If somebody tells you if you eat fat, you're going to get fat. First of all, think about those. Just think. Forget about listening to sources. Just think about that statement. Does anybody here actually think that if you eat some fat, it's going to go directly to fat? It's not going to go through the bloodstream. It's not going to go through the digestive system. what's it going to do? It's going to go down here and then it's going to collect here. Does anybody actually believe that?
No.
No. What causes fat? There's only two sources of food for the body. That's it. There's only two. There's glucose and there's fat. Okay? And you need both of them.
Right.
But guess what? You can technically create glucose,
Right.
right? And you can create protein because your body has the capability of doing that. Your body has the capability of creating ketones. What's the brain food? What brain food? Like Polly? What's the two foods? You talk about the Canada Food Group and the Bible and all type of stuff. What are the two foods that your brain needs to function?
Protein and carbs.
Nope. Not even close. It needs sugar, which is glucose. Fine, a byproduct of carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates,
But it needs it needs glucose and ketones.
Okay. Well, I've never heard of ketones. What's ketones?
Ketones, and you need 50% of each in order for the brain to properly function.
And we learn this from where?
From biology.
Okay. I took Bio 10. I've never heard of ketones.
Maybe it's past Bio 10. Maybe you should have done university bio. Maybe doctors go for 7 years.
Okay, so here's my point. My point is people have, here's my point.
Do it. Point away.
The layman is looking for best food practices. Okay? Best nutrition, this, that, and the other thing. Okay? The layman. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about a bio grad. I'm not talking about a post-secondary. I'm not science. I'm talking. I got 3 kids. I have no time to go shopping and check for every label and check, oh yeah, no, that's calories, and oh yeah, no, can't do that. Where do I go to find the best way to be to inject mine and my kids' my family bodies with the best nutrition? That's my question.
Okay, I'll answer the question for you. You have to put in the work.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So if you say you have no time to feed your kids properly, I'm sorry, that doesn't make you a very good parent.
True.
Because you know what? The kids don't know, and they're counting on their parents to feed them the proper information and the proper food.
True. That is a very good point. That is
so
a very good
the fact
point.
of the matter is, you have to make time because that's important. Food, nutrition is medicine. We're not taught that nutrition is medicine. We're taught that if you have high blood pressure, I'll give you some high blood pressure pills and you'll be fine. We're taught that if you have ADD symptoms, we'll give you some pills and you'll be fine. But I'm here to tell you that that is very, very old thinking. What is causing the high blood pressure? Shouldn't we be more concerned about that?
More about the root cause.
What is causing ADD? Shouldn't we be more concerned about that?
You know, ADD, that's a thing, man. I never heard of ADD when I was a kid. You ever heard of ADD when you were a kid?
Never heard of it. I'm just going to read this real quick. So Nicole, okay, I want to share a few years ago when Canada's food guide changed, they saw what Epicure had created with their dietitians and doctors and nutritionists, and then they decided to use what they created.
What Epicure created. Now look at Nicole's call sign. Nicole's Epic Meals.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got a thing or two to say about this.
And Lori's here with us as well. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Jumped in on Facebook. If you eat nothing but steak every day, you will not only enhance your body metabolism, but brain function as well. Jordan Peterson.
So there you go. There's the Bible, Jordan Peterson.
Do you know why, Lori? Because I can get into it. I can get into the science of it. The fact of the matter is, you can create a lot of things if you eat only steak, and you can create protein. When you eat plain sugar, you're not going to create protein. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds because it'll bore the shit out of everybody. Okay, so to answer Paul's question in a larger way, I was being a little bit provocative, Paulie, when I said you have to make time, then blah, blah, blah.
You're not. Well, you're absolutely
I was
not.
trying to be provocative, but the fact of the matter is just like the Canada Food Guide basically says you have an overarching principle of food, of diet, right? I'm here to tell you that that's old research, okay?
Oh, 100%.
But you still have to have an overarching guiding principle of dietary needs.
Correct.
And I think we need to research and find out what the cutting edge, in everything else, we want cutting edge information, except for food.
Yeah.
And I do not understand that, right? I'll tell you a very quick story. This is going back almost 10 years now. My Uncle David, very active guy, all that type of stuff, but very sedentary guy, not very active. He ate a lot of brown food, meaning high fat, blah, 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 type of stuff. And anyway, he goes to this doctor, and the way he explains it is that this little tiny woman comes and she says, you know, you have diabetes and you have to do this and you have to do that. And, you know, anyway, long story short, he talked to one of his friends who's also a doctor. And the doctor said, well, actually, you just need to do this and you just need to do that. And so he did. Him and his wife changed, he's 71 years old at the time. Him and his wife changed the diet, basically removed all the sugar, removed all the sweets because he loves sweets, and put him basically on vegetables and meat. Almost no carbohydrates. He's not carbohydrates, but almost none. Yeah, 6 months later, no trace of diabetes.
Wow.
So pre-diabetes, gone just like that.
Gone. Yeah.
Right? So I would love to sit down and talk with you guys for 6 hours about food. About specific foods, and I can tell you, and I've done the research, but the fact of the matter is the overarching principle should be that we use the latest research to dictate what we feed ourselves and what we feed our kids.
Right. Lori says she cut out bread and milk and she lost 45 pounds in 2 months, and yes, Cliff, Dad did.
Yeah, Dad, yeah, remember, no, that was Lori's dad, that's my uncle. You know, Lori, it's absolutely amazing what can be done when it comes to food. I think right now, and I cannot stress this enough, all the medical profession, okay, just to back this up for 1 second, I'll tell you this. Pharmaceutical companies do not want you to get better. Do you know why?
They need the money. That's
They
what
need the
sell.
money.
They gotta sell their
the products.
drugs, dude.
So they don't want you to be cured, they want you to be fed the drugs. Kellogg's Cornflakes doesn't want you to think sugar is the enemy, they want you to think fat is the enemy, so they can sell more sugar cereal.
That's why they have a fun-loving tiger on the cereal box.
So what I'm saying to you is this. If you trust the pharmaceutical companies to cure you, that's not their job. That's not their goal. And guess who supports most doctors? The pharmaceutical company. When doctors start a new practice, they actually get funded in so many ways by the pharmaceutical company. Am I saying pharmaceutical drugs are bad? No, please, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that nutrition should trump medicine. Nutrition should if that makes sense.
Well, you have to look, again, if you go back in time, before we had all these different types of medications that they say you need to take for this, this, and this. Back in the days, look at the indigenous culture. Back in the, well, how did they survive? Off of plants and etc. And everything that they used was all nutrition.
All nutrition.
Because they couldn't go to the drugstore and get the latest, or ADHD medicine. or whatever. Right?
And Bill, just a small point, but a very important one. Do you know what has to be FDA approved? You don't have to. The FDA does not have to approve a banana, do they?
No.
No. So guess what? A banana is automatically good for you. All right? Maybe not in massive quantities because of all the sugar, depending on who you are. But the FDA only has to approve experimental stuff that they have considered and deemed it works.
Yeah.
If we just went back to nature, we wouldn't bloody well need an FDA.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right?
And sorry, Nicole says she's going to Dallas on Wednesday, where they're going to talk about food trends for 2025, and she'll share them with us. We'd love to hear that.
Oh, Nicole, that would be absolutely
I'd love that,
lovely.
Nicole. Hey, Cliff, time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at
Oh
that.
my God, it's half the podcast.
Wow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I had a lot of coffee, so I'm talking very fast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the middle of the podcast.
And we got to say a quick hi to Jeremy, because Jeremy said the kids are in bed. I think we're going to be right behind them, but had to come say hi. And then Jeremy said,
Hi, guy.
I tried the off-brand cornflakes. They're all right, I guess.
Well, agreed. They're all right. I agree.
Yeah, I cut out all that stuff. I don't eat cereal anymore.
Yeah, I very rarely eat cereal. I have to be better. I fully admit I have to be better at cutting down on the carbs. For sure, that's one thing I have to work on. But we find ourselves, I think now, even so, we have an H&W produce out here now. So
Right.
we
Oh,
go
do you?
to that
Is that right, eh?
So we might go get a few groceries at a grocery store,
Yeah.
but then we don't buy vegetables. We go over to H&W produce and we pick out our fruit and any particular veggies that we like to use, whether it be broccoli or rutabagas or all that kind of stuff. We all get now at H&W.
Nice.
So
And you know what? What's great about places like H&W and T&T and all these things?
Yes.
And now almost everywhere too, is that you can get foods from China, you can get food from India, you can get. So what happens is now you're ingesting different minerals into your body because the soil there is different.
It's
injecting
different, that's
minerals
exactly right.
into the produce. So now that then actually helps the body gain a broader. Okay, Podlie, one thing if you want to start your research, you can actually start with the gut biome. Like what is the gut biome? do the research, and figure out what makes your stomach work. What
That's
battery.
not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I would miss hockey games. I would miss.
What are you doing at night after the
I would
hockey game?
miss sleeping.
So basically, you're telling me that all of these things come as a higher priority to you and your kids' nutrition.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Well, that's what you just
Of course
said.
not. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save time and make smart decisions. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save time and make smart decisions.
How are you
As
going to make a
single
smart
parent
decision?
of 3 kids.
How are you going to make a smart decision?
By making a smart decision.
No, but how? But how? What is going to convince you that one is a smart decision and one is not?
Probably asking questions. Probably talking to people.
Oh, so just people.
Probably talking to people.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably that's probably what I would do. So what do you think?
So which people?
So what's your opinion? So anybody, family, friends, coworkers, anybody.
So anybody who has a voice, you'll listen to them for the nutrition of you and your kids.
Probably.
Wow. Okay.
Probably.
And just quickly, and then I'm going to ask Paul a question too. But just quickly, Sue says, "Where's H&W produce?" So we have one.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Sue, I'm not sure where do you live.
No,
but
she's coming to Edmonton. She lives.
So if you're coming to Edmonton, there is definitely an H&W.
South side.
The south side.
34th Ave, 91st Street.
Yeah, by Capilano Mall, in Sherwood Park. It's right in
Or
the
that
center,
one too.
in the center of Sherwood Park, right, just kind of across from the mall where our City Hall and stuff is.
Or that
There's
one
an
too.
H&W produce there as well.
And there's one just outside of Millwoods too.
Yeah, so
Sorry, that's the one I referenced.
They're good places to go to. Sorry, Laurie says always buy
Basmati rice.
basmati rice, less arsenic. I've heard that actually, so I might have to.
Basmati
try
or
that.
brown rice I've heard as well. Brown rice I've heard
rice is very bad.
really good.
Brown rice is very bad for you.
Nicole
Very
says she's
bad
got
for you. No, it's not. It's very good for you.
No, it's very bad for you.
Which one is bad for you?
Brown rice.
Why? In what way?
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna go through that now. Paul, you want stuff to you want people to spoon feed you information, dude.
Yes.
Well, you can't have that.
Yes,
You got-
I actually do.
I put in the time. You need to put in the time.
I'm a single dad of 3 kids. It's tough. It's tough.
You're a single dad of 3
it's
malnourished kids.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You might be right.
Sue
I
says
don't know.
Sherwood Park where? So it's right in the center of Sherwood Park. If you Google County of Strathcona and get their address and look, or even H&W, you'll find it's the H&W store is right in the center. There's a apartment above it, and it's in like a strip mall there, so you can check that out as well.
See,
Like
this is the
Is that the old?
Planet Organic.
That's it.
location.
That's it. I know
Center
where you
of the
are.
park
Yep,
on
yep,
Festival
yep.
Way, Chai says.
See, this is the issue when you start talking about individual foods, right?
Yeah.
Lori says basmati rice is good. Susan says jasmine rice is better. You see, this is the problem if you don't have an overarching idea of nutrition. Both of those things are very good. Jasmine rice is from Thailand, it's awesome. Basmati rice is from India, it's probably one of the most world-renowned rices available. But we cannot talk about specifics of brand. Next, you're going to say, well, what Jeremy said. Kellogg's is good, but the off-brand is worse. We can't discover nutrition in terms of one food against another. We need to find an umbrella idea of how the body works.
Right. Not Y Road, Sue. It's on Festival Way. So if you look up Festival Way, if you look up the address for Festival Place example, you're going to drive right past it if you were driving to Festival Place. So on Festival Way. And Sue says she actually read no rice is good. So good question.
Yeah, Sue, there's an argument for that too, believe it or not.
Yeah. Doing simple research, Lori says, can change your life so much.
Yeah. The thing is, Lori, just to Lori's point, the thing what gets me, Lori, is that everybody, for argument's sake, will watch what the Canada Food Guide says, but they won't try and see, hey, wait a minute, is there other information out there that I'm not being told? Who's making money from the advice that you're getting? When you look for the source, when you follow the cash, okay, if you get a doctor on there on YouTube or on doing some research and he says to you, if you take this pill, blah 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 blah, pretty soon you'll find a link to one of his websites to get that pill.
That's what it is.
Now, the moment you do that, the moment you're in that situation, by heaven's sakes, you should know that he's not telling you the truth because he has something to gain out of it. But on the other hand, last point, on the other hand, if somebody says to you, hey, don't eat food for 16 hours.
Yeah.
Nobody's making money on that.
No, of course not.
They're making less money than anything. So I'm tempted to look at that guy and go, hey, wait a minute, that's interesting. Why are you telling me this?
And this is not my point, but it's maybe somewhat to Paul's point, just the way this world is. Like you, obviously, Cliff, you're well read on it, and you're learning every day and continuing to learn, which is great. But there's so many people in this world that live such a fast life that for them, all of this just goes right over the head, right? Like they'll just go to the store and pull whatever box off, and they don't even think about it, right? They don't understand what they're really doing to their bodies, right?
And honestly, Bill, that is my actual point.
Yeah.
My point is that if you take away your health, everything else matters not.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, if you're busy or not busy, if you're a musician, if you're whatever the case may be, the fact of the matter is, if you put your health at the top of the priority list, everything else will follow.
Right.
But if you put your health at the bottom of the priority list, everything else might work well for a time.
So I'm going to bring up one other point. And I'll just read Nicole's here real quick. So Nicole says, each person needs a different amount of calories, and it's specific to what foods you need to fuel your body. Check out Holistic Nutrition.
I agree in part with you. I agree in part with you, Nicole. But every single solitary brain needs glucose and keto. If you're human, your brain, in order to function properly, needs a balance of ketones and glucose. And forming that balance in the brain is actually key to a functioning brain.
Right. So I'm going to make mention when we talk about being busy and et cetera, not having the time. So I'm going to throw out Stephen Page's name again. Not because I met him last night.
I'm sorry, who?
But Stephen Page. So just because I know what Stephen Page's rider is and what they request for food and things like that. Backstage. So here's a gentleman that went through some heavy addiction, heavy alcoholism, etc. That's the reason why he left the Bare Naked Ladies.
Right.
He's completely clean now. He's been sober for many years. He actually goes out and does mental health talks with people, and he's a speaker and all that kind of thing to talk about his addictions and so on and so forth. So his rider now, I bet you, is way different than it was 20 years ago when he was doing the drugs and drinking and
no red
partying
Smarties
and no, eating the hamburgers and stuff. So his rider now was like all healthy
foods.
He needs, salads and veggies and this kind of thing is what they're.
How old is he now, Bill? Is he mid-50s?
I would have. He's probably mid-50s.
Mid-50s.
But anyway, so what I'm saying, the point I'm getting to is, here's a guy who's on tour all the time.
Right.
Busy guy. But he's obviously taken the time to think
put
about
nutrition at the top.
because I'm playing on the road. If I got to keep playing on the road, I got to keep touring at the pace that I want to be out and having fun doing, and have fun doing it. So I'm not on stage looking like I'm ready to pass out.
Correct.
Then I got to figure out, what do I do to my body to fuel it? So no matter how busy he is,
Doesn't matter.
if he's in a tour bus or whatever, he's figured it out.
Yeah, and he has to do it. Now, just imagine if people like Stephen Page, who had the resources obviously when he was young, started that when he was young.
Yeah.
Right?
Big difference.
A big difference, right?
Yeah.
So
he started it when older, but like you said.
I'm starting when I'm older. I didn't know all this stuff.
Yeah, and like you said, 70-year-old making that big change. Look at the change it made in their life at the age of 70.
Massive, right? And I tell you what, there are people currently making massive changes at 60 years old.
Yeah.
That in very short time frames, like really short. Like what's stunning about some of this information that's coming out now is that the information's been there. It's just been suppressed. Right. So it's not new information.
But again, it's been suppressed because the big drug companies need to make their money. So they'll do everything they can to hide it, right?
And what's the easiest thing to feed people that costs the least amount of money, but you can sell at high levels and get people addicted to? Sugar.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? And oh my God, the fats in some of these things are horrible, right? So in terms of that, what I would suggest, and Paul said he's not going to do it, but if anybody else is interested in starting the research, what they're finding out now that many illnesses, autoimmune illnesses, et cetera, a lot of these things can be stemmed by the gut biome and actually resetting the gut biome. You can actually reset the gut biome quite fast, and you can reset cells that are doing nothing in your body. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't like to talk about it very often, but there are cells in the body that can be switched on like this that are actually cancer cells. They're there. They're dormant. They're not doing anything, but they can be switched on like that.
I've heard that before, yeah.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is you can actually get rid of those cells. Nobody's talking about that.
Well,
Nobody's talking about that. Do you know why? Because nobody makes any money if you go that route.
Yeah. No, for sure. Completely get it. By the way, I don't know if you saw that, Sue, but Chai did post the address 201 Festival Way, north of Y Road for H&W Produce. He's 54 in June. Stephen Page turns 54 in June. But and the funny thing is, again, and I go back to musicians. We all talk about music because of our love of music, and how some of these musicians have definitely changed their lifestyles compared to what they used to do.
Oh, yeah.
To very, and I've seen them
Almost
again,
all of
some
them.
of the riders that I see. There's such a change in the health food that they're asking for.
That's a
now.
great point.
So
Bill.
it's
That's a
funny,
great point.
and I want to comment on that as well, if I can. Now, I was just at the Country Music Alberta Awards, and I said to my 11-year-old son, I said, well, how do you think, I said, look at the bar. I said, look at the bar. All of these country music, there's nobody at the bar. There's nobody drinking alcohol. There was one lineup when it first started,
Which is unusual for a country party. Sorry.
And then but here's the thing: they're taking care of themselves. Things have changed, you guys. Things have changed. There was a lot of salads, like a lot of salads at the buffet. And little red meat. There was some red meat. There was prime rib and stuff like that. But man, oh man, is it absolutely true? It's totally true. Totally true. Take care of your bod.
Sue says good mental
See,
health.
okay,
take
so
care of your
now,
body.
he's agreeing with me.
He did.
Well, I never disagreed with you.
Yeah.
You did. You said, now you're saying take care of your bod. Earlier you said you don't have time to take care of your bod.
Oh, I don't have time to take care of my bod.
So then don't take care of your bod.
Well, I do the best I can, but I need a Bible.
You need a Bible.
I do the best I can, but I need a Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then,
I need to know how many. I need to know real quick. My son is 11 years old. X amount. What do I feed him? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Give me an idea. Do you know what I mean? That's what I need. That way I can just go. That's it. I know where I'm going. I'm in.
So
I'm out.
So you want somebody else to do your research for you?
I want a Bible. I want a Bible. That's what I want. Open the book. Find the
Pretty entitled.
answers. Find the answers. Close the book. Do the work. Go shopping.
So,
That's what I want.
then
Life
that's what I
must be
want.
very simple to you,
So then
Paul.
That's what I want.
My question though is completely understand. Single dad, 3 kids, not an easy. My daughter's a single mom, so not an easy time at all for sure, because you're always busy and always swamped doing things. And I know my daughter does the best she can in feeding my grandson, and he's at that teenage years, right? Where,
Right.
so I'm not eating
Yeah.
that, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to eat this, but she's getting, he's eating salads and things now. She's getting
Good.
into doing that, which is good because
Good.
he is a goalie. He's very active.
Very
He's
active, yeah.
He's on the ice, 3, 4, 5 times a week or whatever. But having said all of that, so I guess what I would say, and I this is not on the nutrition side, but obviously we had 4 kids,
Right.
Chai and I went back to university at a later age. Well, I had 4 kids.
Right.
And Chai was, so I was full-time school with Chai managing 4 kids in school and everything else. So I guess what I'm getting to is we still made the time
Right.
for me to go to university, and Chai ended up going back later as well.
Yeah.
So when you don't have the kids, Paul, don't you have even 15 minutes where you can take some time at that point to do a quick?
Of course I do.
Because you don't have the kid now. Yes, you
Of
have
course
them
I
a
do.
lot, but there are those times you don't have them. Right?
And a hockey game is 3
I do
hours.
not have them a lot, as a matter
And a
of fact.
hockey game is 3 hours. So
Yeah.
what if you watch 80 hockey games instead of 82?
Here is
Or
my
after the
point.
hockey game, you do your research.
Here is my point.
You want a Bible?
Yeah, humans are lazy.
No.
Humans
no.
are
What do you mean
lazy.
humans? Don't lump me in that. I did my own research, bucko.
Humans are lazy.
Some humans.
Generally, humans are lazy.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I do. I think generally humans are lazy. I do.
What brings you to that conclusion?
I don't know. I think
So I guess then the only question. So if
I think generally humans like to be spoon fed.
if all humans were lazy or wanted to be spoon fed, then why would I go back to university as
I'm not saying you.
as an adult? Why would you spend your time researching, or why would Chai go back to university?
Why would I learn to play
as an
guitar?
adult,
Why
I learn
would
to
why would
play-
we be doing this podcast?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure. And I just quickly, and I don't know what you think about this. So Lori says no pizza, no pasta. Sue says pasta
Pasta's
is a good carb.
It depends on what pasta, Sue.
Yeah.
What kind of pasta? What is the ingredient in the pasta.
You know
that
what
you're
Connor
talking about.
McDavid eats for every pregame meal? Chicken and pasta. That's
Yep,
it.
that's it.
That's his pregame
Yeah.
meal, and that's the same. And I think he has a protein drink, whatever. But
Yeah.
it's the same thing he eats before every game.
Before every game, yeah.
Big thing of chicken and a big thing of pasta.
Of pasta, yeah, because pasta is the carbohydrate loading, right?
And of course, way back, Wayne Gretzky, you wouldn't want to go with his meal.
Pro
'cause
Stars.
It was steak, it was
Oh,
pasta,
was
and
it
a piece
Pro
of cake.
Stars?
Yeah.
And a piece of cake.
Oh, and a cigarette on the bench, by the way.
And a cigarette on the
And a
bench.
cigarette on the bench.
Yeah. Sue, you said pasta with nothing at all. I'm not talking about what you put on it. I'm talking about what's in it. What is the pasta made of?
Yeah. Sue says yes. The average human does want to be
Spoon-fed, but the comment before was, Paul, I disagree. So
that wasn't Sue. That was.
So it's the comment before.
was Nicole. That was
Nicole
Nicole.
disagrees with me, saying humans are lazy, and Sue agrees
says
with.
She agrees with it.
yeah.
Then Nicole wants to know, is asking you this question, Paul. How come you haven't asked me for a meal guide so you can create meals when you have your kiddos?
Good question, Nicole.
Because
That's a Bible, dude. The Bible.
because-
There's your Bible right there. Your Bible.
according to who?
According to
To Nicole.
to Nicole.
According to Nicole. According to Nicole.
And earlier on, you said.
According to
and
Nicole.
earlier on, hang on. Earlier on, you were touting Nicole, saying, "Look, it's epic meals, and she's the
Oh, I
epic
agree.
expert."
Oh, I agree.
So then, why don't you?
So I'm playing devil's advocate, according to Nicole. So Nicole's epic meals, okay? It says Nicole's epic meals. So she obviously knows about meals. So there you go. That's the Bible.
Yeah. And Chai says.
So let's all pick up Nicole's epic meals.
I don't agree with much of it.
And Chai says.
But that's the Bible.
I'm kidding, Nicole. I'm just trying to get his
But that's the Bible.
because I don't know where he's getting this information
Chai
from.
says, I hate carbs. I feel so heavy anytime I have carbs. Hurts my gut. By the way,
Oh, you guys.
Chai says Gretz doesn't smoke, which is true. And
That's right.
She would know him better than anything because he.
No,
hung
I'm
out
not saying
at her-
Gretz.
at
I'm
her
saying,
house,
Lafleur. Lafleur used to have.
Okay, but
smokes.
Lafleur was French. All French smoke.
Semenko used to smoke on the bench.
All humans are lazy and all French people smoke.
but- That's right.
Yeah,
Semenko didn't smoke.
Lafleur had a
smoke on the bench,
pack
but he
a
did smoke in the
game, I
bathroom.
think. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know it wasn't Gretzky. Yeah, hockey players.
Yeah, Nicole, I don't know where Epicure, the company itself, Epicure, I don't know where they stand on much of the latest research for food, but that 2025 thing that you were talking about, I'd certainly be interested in taking a look.
That'd be interesting. Nicole says, okay, starting with Paul.
Starting what with me? Starting what with me?
The food guy.
The food guide.
I'm down.
Cliff, back in the 70s, when you were in school, no one was obese.
Nobody was. You know what's funny, Lori? I was just looking at just a stupid meme on Facebook where they showed a beach picture of in 1973 and then the same beach in 2023. And they showed the same beach. Now, if you look at the one in 1973, there was no obesity. Like, I'm not talking like, oh, there was only a couple of skinny people. I'm talking, no, everybody, beautiful bodies, skinny, blah, blah, blah. Sure, the odd fat person, wherever. And then the 2023, guess what? It's 100% opposite. If you saw a skinny, athletic body on there, it was actually a surprise.
Right. And I actually,
That's true, Nicole.
I do actually. Yeah, you're completely correct. I don't recall back in even the 70s, and I was younger in the 70s, obviously, but I don't recall seeing overweight people.
No, never.
Once in a while, maybe, but it was
Very rare.
not
And
like like it is today.
I'll comment too. I spent 3.5 years in China and 10 months in China. And I had summers off, so I came back to Canada. But I spent, and the Chinese diet is mostly vegetables, tofu, and some meat. Beef in the province that I was at mostly was very popular in central China. And there is nary an overweight person in China. Well, again, this is 15 years ago, but I came back to Canada, and there's two things that stunned me when I came back after spending 10 months in China was the clear air and the beautiful sun where there was no smog. It was beautiful. We were so blessed, so blessed. And I almost got, my eyes were almost sore for a couple of days. And the obese people in the West. I just wasn't, it was reverse culture shock for me when I came back. Those were the
So why do
two
you think
things
that
that
is,
shocked
Paulie?
me. Why is that?
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Different diet. And I think overprocessed foods, as Nicole mentioned.
Yeah.
They walk everywhere in China. They walk different now. Again, this was 15 years ago. They walk everywhere in China. They have to go to the well remember, I'm in rural. I'm not in metro. I'm not in metro Beijing. So I'm in rural. They have the the pails on each, and they have the. I mean, they're doing the work, baby. They're doing the work.
There's a show on, there's a documentary on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix right now about living to 100, and it's about a gentleman who's researching different countries to find out why people in different countries live far longer than say we do. Well, he's out of the U.S., so in America, and you could say Canada as well. And there's about 6 or 7 different countries that he goes to where people are living to like 100, 105, 106, and 100. Yeah,
That was the latest. I think the lady.
and based around what they're doing for their nutrition in their lives, right?
You know, a simple thing, right? Just to your point, Bill. I watched a program, and maybe to Paulie's point, I don't know. I watched this little clip about centurions. I think it was in Costa Rica, I believe. And they were living to 109, 110, 114 years old and still healthy and
still energy.
and energy, all
Still
that type
walking.
of stuff. So maybe unlike Paulie, that made me curious, and I wanted to find out why.
Yeah.
So I started looking into it a bit. And then my question was, what the hell are these people eating?
Yeah.
And I found out all of a sudden that their basic every morning meal is rice with black beans, fried up with some spices and eggs.
That's what they were showing on that.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so then, but if you listen to the general wisdom, they will tell you, no, you should be eating cornflakes for breakfast, not rice and beans
And your
and fried
oatmeal,
onions
and your sugar flavored
and your sugar flavored oatmeal. Oatmeal is the worst goddamn thing you can ever eat. I'm telling you this. I didn't know this.
Say it again, Cliff. Sorry.
Oatmeal is one of the worst things you can eat. So anyway, I did a little bit of research and thought, well, wait a minute though, rice is like nothing but carbohydrates. It doesn't even sit well with me anymore, even though I love it. Well, guess what? The interaction of the rice with the black beans and how the rice is kept in the fridge overnight, then cooked and so on and so forth, believe it or not, that changes the makeup and chemical balance of the food. So it's not about, this is what I was trying to get across. I'm glad you brought this up because it reminded me of a good way to get this across. Because, Sue says rice is bad, Lori says rice is good, blah, 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 blah.
We've been going like that all
and
hour.
I was trying to explain to you, Paulie, that we cannot go meal for meal for meal for meal, or because it doesn't make any sense. We're talking about an overarching idea of what nutrition is. So when I found that out about rice and beans and blah, blah, I started cooking a breakfast like that for Leslie and me. Well, guess what? The way I felt eating just plain rice was different.
So are you preparing the day before, throwing it in the fridge that night?
Right. So I prepare the rice, throw it in the fridge that night. Next morning I get up, soak the black beans because I don't buy canned black beans because of the preservatives. Soak the black beans, and guess what? Some onions, a little bit of fry, a little bit of whatever spice I like, whatever spice you like, and then what? You fry it all up with some tomatoes. Add the rice in, fry it up, and when you take it off the pot, you put it on your plate, and you crack an egg on top.
Nice.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know what? That egg is beautiful. It's just beautiful. It just
A
cooks
lot of
right
fish
there.
too, guys. A lot of fish.
A lot of fish. Cooks right there.
Very important.
And it's so good. And you feel like $1,000,000 eating this stuff.
Sounds good. Well, we're just about out of time.
I'm hungry now.
I wanted to get this last one in. Sue says, did you know you're supposed to add a tablespoon of coconut oil to water when cooking rice to prevent that, Cliff?
Yeah, that's
I have never heard that.
That's very, very old advice, Susan, and very good advice. Okay, my mom was doing that 40 years ago when people thought coconut oil was so bad for you.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I'll tell you guys. Old information is shitty information, all right? Everybody used to say coconut oil was the worst thing on the planet. Well, guess what? Now there's not a single nutritionist who will tell you that coconut oil is bad for you. If they do, they're lying. All right? So anyway, I'm just trying to illustrate my point. I'm not trying to get you to eat anything or not eat anything. I'm just talking about the overarching principles.
Nicole has a good idea. She says, Cliff, you need a restaurant. So maybe you just open up a restaurant that has...
That would be fun, Nicole. Can you do it with me? That would be just awesome. You guys,
Hey, I can come and cook.
I know you're a good cook.
Nicole, we're in your kitchen with this topic. See what I
Thank
did
you.
there? Nicole, see what I did there?
Everybody, you guys, thank you for showing up. This was not the topic that we discussed. I'm not sure that it was good for anybody. It was certainly spirited. I like it. I hope that at least some people will think about it because nutrition is food, food is nutrition. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for your spirited discussions, Paulie, Bill, and everybody on here. I speak for all of us when I tell you we love having you guys here. And for some reason, if you didn't catch this,
Watch it right here on our YouTube channel, the Podlie Podcast YouTube channel. You can go back, watch it with the comments. You can rewatch it on Facebook as well, because we are on both platforms. And let your friends know if anybody's on Facebook and say, "Well, I'm not on YouTube." Well, tell them we're on both. They can watch us on both platforms. And then Friday night, you can tune into the audio of this podcast from 10 to 11 o'clock Friday nights on SoundSugarRadio.com.
stay happy.
Have a great week, everybody.
Take care of each other, you guys.
We'll be all back. We'll be back next week, 175.
Ciao.